Today, we're going to talk about a feeling that, let's be honest, every single one of us knows regrets. But we're going to look at it in a completely different way, using a really cool idea from physics to help us understand our own minds. Let's see if this can totally change how you think about your past.
You know that question, right? It can really get stuck in your head. What if I'd taken that other job offer? What if I'd said yes when I said no? That one little thought, what if? Well, that's where all regret begins. So here's the big idea for today. Think of your mind as a multiverse. Seriously, every time you think, what if? You're not just daydreaming. It's like you're taking a quick trip to a parallel world, one where a different version of you is living out that other choice you didn't make.
Okay, first things first, let's figure out what regret really is. It's not some kind of personal failure. Nope, it's something way more interesting. Think of it as an echo, a signal coming from those other worlds that exist right inside your head.
Now, there's a fancy psychological term for this mental time travel, counterfactual thinking. But all it really means is thinking counter to the facts. It's that habit we have of comparing the life we have right now to a life that, well, never actually happened. This is the engine that fires up all those parallel worlds.
And this changes everything. Check this out. The happiness you feel in this moment, it's being disrupted. It's getting psychological interference from the ghost of the you who's living in that other world. That pang of regret you feel, it's just static coming from a different timeline.
And it turns out our brain runs these simulations of other worlds in two totally distinct ways. And depending on which direction you look, you bring back a very different kind of feeling. Let's break it down.
So on one side, you've got upward thinking. This is when you look up at a world that seems better. If only I had studied harder. That's the home of regret for sure, but it's also where we find our motivation to do better. Then on the other side, there's downward thinking. This is looking down at a world that's worse. Phew, it could have been so much worse. And that is where we find feelings of relief and gratitude.
Now, I know this might sound a bit abstract, but there is an absolutely brilliant real-world example that proves just how powerful this is. For that, we're heading to the Olympic podium.
So, looking at it objectively, it's super simple. Gold is the best, silver is second, bronze is third. Easy enough, right? There's no argument there.
But here's the paradox. This is where it gets wild. Studies have actually found that, on average, bronze medalists report being way happier than silver medalists. How on earth is that possible? Well, it all comes down to which parallel world they're comparing themselves to.
See, the silver medalist is haunted by the parallel world that's just above them. Their mind is getting all that psychological interference from the me who won gold. They're making an upward comparison, thinking, oh, if only I was just a little bit faster. And that creates regret.
But the bronze medalist, they're comparing themselves to the world just below them, the world where they came in fourth and got no medal at all. They're thinking, wow, I almost didn't make it onto the podium. This downward comparison creates this huge wave of relief and pure joy.
So the most important thing here is that our feelings, they totally depend on our point of comparison. And this is where you get your power back. It's time to embrace your new role in this whole mental multiverse. You are the observer. That's you, the observer. You are not some helpless victim of regret. You actually have the power to decide which what-if world you want to tune into. You get to choose your own point of reference. So your power as the observer is basically a three-step process. First, you consciously choose your comparison. Are you going to look up or are you going to look down? Second, by doing that, you literally rewrite the emotion you're feeling in that moment. And third, you, my friend, determine your own happiness right here, right now. Okay, so how can you actually use this power in your day-to-day life? Let's get into a real, practical strategy to manage these feelings and, actually feel better. It's all about being strategic. So, when you're stuck in that awful loop of regret, maybe about a job you left, force yourself to make a downward comparison. Think about how much worse things could have gone. It'll help you appreciate where you are now. But when you need that push to grow, that's the time to use upward thinking. Look at that better world not with regret, but as a blueprint for where you want to go. And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway. You are here in this reality because of every single choice you've made. Instead of mourning the other paths, the real power comes from owning this one. Acknowledge what a privilege it is to be the one experiencing this specific timeline. And that's really the ultimate power in this whole analogy.
You know how in quantum physics, an observer collapses all the possibilities into one single reality? Well, you can do that too. You can collapse your own subjective universe into a state of gratitude and happiness just by choosing what you compare it to.
So, I'll leave you with this question. As you go about your day, you're going to be visited by these ghosts from other timelines, the ones that sting and the ones that inspire. The choice of which one you focus on, that's completely up to you. So, which world will you choose to observe today?